Let's go and play. Hey, what's up, guys? This is T-Bone here. So, I'm doing this for the second time now, I think, in the past few weeks, where I'm going to be playing through the event live on the first day that it comes out, so I can kind of showcase what I'm using, the teams I'm actually using, and also react to some of the changes. There are some changes in this particular event, which I didn't know about when we did the preview. And so I'm going to be taking a look today and we'll talk about it. And we'll also kind of show the teams I'm using and how effective it is. And we can try and explore and see what teams you might be using. And we can talk about, how things are going. Unfortunately, I cannot show you how the team is doing for this particular event setup because I don't have the team. But hopefully by using some allies, we can show you what it's all about. So the first change here, when you go and select allies now in the Crusade map, they've changed the ordering. So now you actually will see adventurers first. It used to be that adventurers come last, and your guild members first, and then your friends will be in the middle. So they've sort of flipped it. So now the adventurers at the very beginning. And so if you weren't paying attention, you might be adding a lot of new friends that you didn't expect to, because if you're just kind of going through the motions, you might be playing through and then trying to add friends. So it's something to keep in mind here. Not sure of the reasoning for this change, but I guess it does make it easier when you have to add a lot of allies. You will never run out, basically. And so we got some people joining here in the chat. Welcome, everybody. How's it going? So today I'm just going to be playing through some levels, and we're going to be using my team that I have set up so that we will we will talk about how it's going. So let's see. We're gonna go through Ruby first. I didn't actually play through the expedition, so I kind of had to go from scratch. And so let's go ahead and just up until this point, up until I would say Ruby, I'm still okay without pulling in a event team ally. Like, it doesn't actually matter what ally you bring in with this team. So I showcased this yesterday. So this is the team that uses Custodians of Fate for the killer bonus, and then I have Freedom Fighters. I also have High Performance Unit Area to give me a boost, and then Defraggers for additional dispels and also additional damage just for the commander, and also immortal skills. And then also add in the Regal Revolutionaries just to sort of do additional buffs for Immortal and to also get more health. And so this actually works pretty well. I mean, it's not, it doesn't deal a ton of damage on the first turn, but you can see here I actually activated unit area I didn't need to. I'll be able to take this out without, you can see, without having a dark unit as an ally. So in this particular setup, Ruby is perfectly fine. I can still get through pretty easily, right? And because I'm already at max friends, I will not be able to add any adventurers, but they do get 10 honor points, so that's kind of nice. And we got Manfred from Switzerland. Welcome here. And Androgyos, you don't have the event team either? Yeah, so I'm going to be showcasing what I'm going to be using, and then you will hopefully be able to try it out as well. Okay, and hello to Jose and Jericho as well as Hamid. So I'm not going to go through all of it right now. What I'm going to do is I'm going to switch back to guild bosses also, because I did manage to get some keys. So thanks to guildmates who gifted some keys. I'm going to show you what I did here. So I'm going up against Radiant boss, and you'll see that I was able to deal a total of 1.4 quadrillion damage. And so it was better than I expected, actually. I'm going to show you the setup I'm using in this case. So the boss has has Toxin and also Thorns. So Thorns is a buff to the boss itself, and then Toxin is a debuff to all of your units. And so what's nice here is Defraggers will be able to dispel it and also cleanse everything. But the thing with Thorns is it's going to get cast every single turn, and High Performance Unit Area, as soon as it gets hit by Thorns, it's not going to be able to activate its skill at all. Okay, and even if it does activate skill, it's not going to provide the attack boost that we're looking for. And so what I did here is I switched out one of the cards and I put in the Mouse King. So what I decided to do was I decided to bring in a Warden, because the Warden has at least a level 9 Dispel, whereas at Radiant level, it's level 7, Toxin 7. So if you bring in like just a regular card that dispels at level 6, about 60% of the time you're not going to be able to dispel it, and that's going to be extremely annoying. And so I brought in a Warden, and the reason why I chose this Warden is because it at least gives me 4 Power Gem 4s. I can only activate it once every 5 turns, but I'm really using this for the dispel. And when I can activate it, it helps me a little bit. So let's go ahead and play through this. I'm going to show you how I'm playing this deck, and then we can try and explore some other options also. So let's see how this does. Okay, and so with the and I'll talk about the relics also a little bit later. And so with my setup, with my relics, I can't really for the most part, I'm not really able to fill up the board on first turn, and so I'm always going to get hit here. And so you can see I'm dispelling poison, but I am going to get hit with thorns, but that's okay because I'm going to be able to activate high performance unit area, and I will not take any damage this particular turn. Then at the very next turn, what I'll be able to do is I'll be able to activate defraggers, which will dispel it, and then I can activate everything else. Make sure that you activate everything at this point. You want to maximize your damage, and so we're going to go ahead and do our power gem swap, and let's see how much damage we can do. So 78 trillion from Freedom Fighters. And so that is going to be about 400 trillion as a nuke damage afterwards. So this deck is all about giving my Freedom Fighters the maximum amount of damage possible. All right, and so that is the goal here. And then just keep activating, activating here. And unfortunately, what's going to happen here is. Okay, I'll be able to dispel, so I'm not going to be taking damage, but at some point the turns are going to be sort of like out of order, so I will not be able to dispel thorns when I have to do an attack, and I will not have the immunity, and so I'm going to be taking some damage there. But right now, I'm able to do some good damage overall, right? And I was talking a little bit, so I'm not playing as fast as I could. But what I can do here is I can go ahead and activate everything. And what's nice is high performance unit area has a 3-turn cooldown, whereas your your defraggers and also your freedom fighters all have a 2-turn cooldown, so that you can activate it twice before, so you can get as much get the maximum sort of attack boost benefits to your team, and you can just kind of cycle it through. And so what we're gonna do here is, I think this is the turn here. Okay, so I don't actually have to worry here because I can dispel it, and so I'm not going to take damage. And so you can see like I'm actually surviving better. Like the first time I played, I think I missed a step, so I was getting hit with counter. But at least in this particular fight, you can see that I'm consistently doing some damage, and every time if I can do at least like 50 or something like that, then that is another 250 trillion and up to like 500, 800 trillion, which adds up. Okay, now this is only a level 28 guild boss, and so it definitely is going to be really difficult once it gets to level 300. Like I'm not going to be able to really do that much, but considering that this is a non-event team and I am using a Slayer deck to do this, I think that's actually not too bad. And so what my focus is going to be instead is I'm going to focus on the Corellian boss. And so I need to focus on the Corellian boss because I think the health is going to be much, like, I can't remember the exact amount of health, but it's going to be much lower and at a level that I will at least be able to, I'll be able to manage. I think it's going to be only a couple of, maybe 2 at level 300, maybe a little over 2 quadrillion or something. And you can see that with my setup, 2 attacks. Okay, after 2 attacks, I was able to deal a total of 3 quadrillion. And so I think it's a matter of if I play fast enough, and if I could play fast enough, and I could make sure that I don't die from the hits, I should be able to at least take out the Corellian boss. And if you think about the trophy differential, at playing against Radiant bosses, you generally will have about twice the amount of trophies in a little bit over twice, a little bit more than twice the trophies for getting through a Radiant boss, but it will take you about 4 times the amount of effort to actually defeat it. I think health-wise is going to be a little bit over 4 times more than Corellian. and so it's going to be a lot more difficult, takes more time, and for all of that you're getting just double the trophies. Whereas if you're focusing on Corellium, you can get through them faster if you have a decent team, and you can get the same number of trophies in less time overall. And so I would say that this setup right here, will do decently. And in terms of the relics, I've had to be creative here. So I do have the relics that are from my Slayer event. Okay, so if you take a look at my relics, I'm using the 3 relics I got from the Dark Slayer event because I don't actually have a Commander Arcane. I couldn't use the current event relic. Okay, and so this is one thing to think about. And then the other thing is, I mentioned in the stream yesterday that you have to get multiple multiple ultimate relics in order to break 7 shields. You don't actually have to do that for Arcane. So Arcane is one that is a little bit special. So there's also others if you have them. Like I think Noble also has one, Chaotic has one. But if you take a look at the Arcane Killer, if you have these relics, so off the chainsaw, if you have this relic, it will actually break 2 arcane shields as well. And so let's say like what I can do is I could switch out this ultimate relic with this one. So now I have what I have here is the arcane relic from the Jailer's event. So I do have I was lucky I was able to get this up to 2 stars, but now I have I can break 3 from here, 2 from here, and then I could break 3 more. So I can actually break a total of 8 with this. And so technically what I could have done is I could have switched this out for 2 of these. So I do have 2 of these relics. And so with this setup, I can also break up 7 shields also. And so if you don't have enough ultimate relics, you can use this the old one that was from the Circuit Breaker event. So you can also use that to break the shields. This will do the same thing also. And so Androgeos, I am actually relying on the killer bonus because I do have the what's the name of this? Custodians of Fate, which is a dark arcane killer for Slayer though. So I am using the Slayer bonus for my Freedom Fighters. If I didn't have Custodians of Fate, then the amount of damage I'm going to be dealing is going to be significantly reduced. But I am going to at least be able to still use the 5 times nuke damage, and also 5 times nuke damage, and also the attack boost from high performance unit area. Now, one of the things I could also do here, right? So let's say we don't have if we don't have Custodians of Fate, what are the other options? And so I was kind of thinking about that. So there are a couple of choices depending on what you want to go with. You could just completely boost your, you could say like just completely forego the killer bonus, and you can go with Glorious Golems, which gives you nice nice power gem creation. Or you could also do something like here's an example where paranormal agents, it's a Slayer deck, but what this does is it will give you power gem 5s, and it also gives you a full health regeneration. You have to be at 200 you have to be at 100 stacks of Investigate, and when you reach it, then you will also fully heal. And so what this gives you is, you can now survive the fights a little bit longer. I haven't actually tried it, and my plan is we're going to try this out, and we're going to take a look and see how this goes. We're going to try both of these options, and we're going to test it out using, again, the Radiant Boss. So now this change here is we're putting in Glorious Golems, so we now have no killer bonus. All right, so let's take a look and see how much damage we can do with this. So the boss is at about 1.15 trillion, and we dealt about 3 trillion. And so what we'll do is we will just use that as a reference point to see how much damage we can do. Okay, so let's go ahead and get ourselves set up. And so remember, this time around, we don't have the killer bonus, and so we should expect to deal a lot less damage. Let's see how much our let's see how much our freedom fighters will do. Okay, and so we'll do the same idea here, and we might actually fill up the board a little bit more with this setup, just because Gloons is going to give me more power gems, but they're power gem 4s, and so it's not going to crush into as high of a gems. All right, so let's take a look at freedom fighters. And so now you can see that the damage has now dropped down to 6.5 trillion. And so with that, the total amount is going to be just 30 trillion per hit. Okay, so you can see the huge difference, like a huge drop off without having the killer skill. And so what that really means is it's not going to be good enough for a Radiant boss if you don't have a killer skill. Right, I think that should be expected though. If you don't have any killer skill, you're not going to be able to do anything against Radiant bosses. But you could consider dropping down to, I would say, maybe Diamond would be okay, right? And so let's see. Yeah, so this is going to be just, this is going to be impossible to do anything really good here. Right? We're not going to be able to deal a lot of damage here, and we kind of expect that. I just want to see what the total damage is. We started with, I think, 1.15 trillion, and so we've just chipped it down to 1.07. All right, so we've dealt about 100 trillion. 100 trillion is about how much we've dealt so far. Okay, 100 trillion with this setup. We're going to try next with paranormal agents and see if we do a little bit better. But right now, this is really the issue, and that is without killer bonus, without any sort of damage boost, we're really not left with a whole lot of options. So this is sort of just to give you an idea of where we land here. And right now I'm at 4.2, and I think with this, I believe we're probably going to get hit once, and then we're going to die. Yes, so Custodians of Fae being a Slayer will indeed boost your, because it's arcane, it will boost the Slayer cards, and that is where the Freedom Fighters is going to get boosted. And let's see, we got Dirk. Good morning from Austria. Welcome to the stream. And so that was with Golem, so not really any better. Okay, so we dealt maybe about 120, 130 trillion or so with this setup. So now let's go ahead and swap it out for something else. And some of the other things that I'm kind of gonna think about are also, is it better to use high performance unit area? Is it better to use jailers for the arcane? So let's take a look at those options. So we're gonna go and change this to a Slayer deck. And then we're going to put in, so I have two options. I could put in paranormal agents to help me with the heal, or I could put in Regal Revolutionaries. So Regal Revolutionaries is going to be an immortal card as well. And it also gives some power gem upgrade. And so that is going to be something that will be helpful. And now, unfortunately, without having, any of the cards that give me, actual upgrades for the commander cards, I couldn't really use the commander cards, and I couldn't really get the buff there. So that's a shame. I don't have Earth Shaking Colossi. I really would have liked that, but unfortunately, cannot showcase that. Okay, so this is with paranormal agents, and you can see right now our stack of investigate is at 39, and our health is going to go down at some point, and the idea here is if we can survive long enough, we can at least go back to full health. All right, so we dealt 6 trillion this time, not any better, right? So it's not actually any better, and so really without the killer skill, this is about how good we can get. I think we can do a little bit better with I think we can do a little bit better though if we had if we had Regal Revolutionaries. Okay, that's my expectation. Let's take a look and see how we do after that. And so we're gonna go ahead and activate this, and we're gonna get hit, but we will revive here. And I just want to see, like, I don't know if I need to activate to increase my stack of Investigate, because we were at 39, now we're up to 58. But we are going to get hit by Thorn, and then we're going to get hit by the boss. And so this is going to hurt quite a bit, but we are going to hopefully, we're going to be able to dispel it, and I'm hoping that we'll be able to survive this hit. And then we can have a, immunity, and then try and see if we can get our health back. Okay, so we barely just survived that one. And we're not going to have time really to do anything anyway. So it doesn't look like Paranormal Agents is going to be helpful here, just because you can see I never really got a chance to heal up 100%. Part of it is also just like I think it could be because I don't have the relics or I don't have the cards to help out here. And so not really any better. Okay, so this team consistently just has 6 trillion or so. So I'm just dealing 6 plus 30 trillion, so 36 total for Freedom Fighters. And that's sort of like my main damage dealer, and not really able to do anything with that. And so let's go ahead and now do one last test with our Slayer team using Regal Revolutionaries. And so then after that, we can take a look and see what other options we could have here. So right now, this is basically a full Immortal setup. This is a full Immortal team with a card that gives me a Dispel for the Toxin. Okay, because I need to be able to Dispel Toxin if I'm running High Performance Area. Otherwise, this whole team basically will not work. And I'm not sure what's going on here. Like, I have just less and less dark gems here. Oh man. So this is going to be really bad, because what's going to happen here is I'm going to be losing basically all of my health before I even get started. But let's just take a look and see how much damage we can deal. So I needed to switch out my, I guess I needed to switch out my relics, which I didn't do, because I think it's because I don't have any arcane in there. So I basically have no gem spawn possibilities, and so that's something to I have to pay attention to. So like this is sort of like because I can't fill up the board on turn 1, I'm losing a lot of health. Okay, so with Regal Revolutionaries, that was supposed to give a little bit of an upgrade, and with the gem upgrade and also attack boost, I got 5.8 on that one, and so that actually is even worse in this case. All right, so I needed to spell that. Let's go ahead and I guess I didn't need to. I actually didn't have to do that. So that was bad, right? So I will end up just being able to activate this. So let's see how this goes for us. Okay, so what we saw was 5.8 was our last attack, and this attack we're looking at 1.2 trillion. So yeah, it really is just nominal amount of damage. All right. So Oliver, have I ever considered receiving videos of other players with cards that I had to talk about? Yeah, so I have done this in the past where other people have played with, the setup I was talking about, then they sent over a video, then I take it and I showcase it. It is something I have done, but it's not that easy to coordinate. And like I said, it would have been easier if I simply had access to their test server, right? Test account, so that I could just choose any cards I want, and I can set up anything in the event. Just go ahead and play with all the different setups, so I can help people understand how to get it set up and whatnot. But that isn't possible, unfortunately. Okay, so we've talked about the Slayer setup using High Performance Unit Area, and you can see it just doesn't do anything without any killer bonus. Unfortunately, I don't have a Dark Arcane Commander killer card at all. Okay, and so you can see here, Dark Arcane Commander, I have the support cards. That's all I have. I basically just have support cards from the various events. And so I think this is an event card. Yeah, so I have Drew the Volt Gunner, which is the event card. Other than that, they're all support cards. So I can't really showcase what it's like with the killer bonus. Like if I had even just like, hair extraordinaire, that would have been okay. But unfortunately, that's not the case. So I can't really show you what I would have done. But what I can tell you is the setup that I have seen people do, where it was using Earthshaking Colossi with a current Ultimate Form Master Collection card, and then using Defraggers to dispel. And there's one more card in there, I can't remember what it was, but people were getting over a quadrillion damage in the trial boss. Okay, this is without any commander boost. This is without anything else. They were getting quadrillion damage with that setup. So the amount of damage that you can get in this team, if you have the right boosters, you should not have any problems against the Radiant bosses. For the rest of us here who are trying our best with different setup, this is what we have to work with. And so for me right now, so I've shown the Slayer option. Now let's take a look and see what there is for the commander option. So I'm already using Defraggers. I'm already using Glorious Golem. I already did use the Glorious Golem, so I'm going to change this team out right here, right? So this was my original setup here. I did this, and I had Golems. What else can I do? What else is there that I can actually do against bosses? Well, there is Citadel. And so Citadel is a card that gives me commander damage boost. So Citadel is the ultra rare version of the ultra rare card of the Earthshaking Colossi. So this one gives me 40% damage. Now let's take a look and see what difference this makes when I use this option. And what we will get here is Defraggers is going to get more damage output here. One of the things I have to do though is I don't have a this is the bigger problem is that I don't have anything that will give me enough power gems on the board, but I guess I'll just have to live with it. So let's go ahead and try this setup now, where we're using this. I need to break all 7 shields. This is the other thing that I find just extremely annoying, is that the shields really have no purpose anymore. They introduced the shields in the beginning because back in when it was Gem Crush 1.0, as they called it, basically what happened was, they needed to introduce the shield to try and break up, that sort of, I don't even know exactly why, but they introduced the shields, but it doesn't really play a role anymore at this point. That's what I'm saying, with like the change to Gem Crush and everything. It doesn't really play a role. And now they introduce Radiant, and now they make it so you need to break 7 shields instead of 6, which I just feel is, a little unnecessary. Okay, so our Defraggers there was able to deal about 6.7 trillion on its own, but the problem is it doesn't have the follow-up nuke damage that Freedom Fighters was able to do. And the other issue that I will say here is, I didn't show it, but my Freedom Fighters is 5 times Awakened and fully maxed out. And it also is at 4 pink stars. And so it is pretty, it's not like at the max level, but it is pretty much up there in terms of the amount of damage it can do. And so if you have a basic 1 pink star level Freedom Fighters, you're not going to be expecting to deal as much damage as I was able to. Okay, and so that is something to consider. And so this is an option. So we can take a look again, right? So Defraggers was able to deal about 6 trillion or so. And I'm gonna go ahead and we'll do this one more time and we'll see. And we got Conwell and Deep saying like, hey, let's try taking out the Golem's ultimate form for Defragger's ultra rare card. So let's try that option now. Let's see how that will fare. And so let's go ahead and activate everything. So this is with a 40% damage boost coming from Citadel, and then a 50% damage for Defraggers itself. So the Defraggers is basically able to deal as much damage as it can in this particular setup here. And so now we're able to bring it up to 9.4. Okay, and so let's go ahead and exit this out. Now let's bring in the ultra rare card from the Defragger's ultimate form, and then let's see how much better we do. So Defragger's ultra rare card is going to be coming from, we're going to change this to Commander, and it's going to be Immortal. Okay, and it's going to be Hero. It's going to be this card. It's going to be the new and improved Hero. So this card, what it does is also creates Power Gem 6s, so we're going to get a better Power Gem. We are also going to be able to dispel, and it heals, but it doesn't have. So this one will give me additional cleanse, heal. Okay, and so this way I can use if I need to. I get more Power Gem whenever I attack, and so we can try out both, right? So new improved hero gives me additional cleanse and dispel, whereas long shot gives me power gem creation, and it also increases its self damage. So I can boost 2 cards, but it's not going to be as high as the ultimate form. So let's go ahead and put in the ultra rare card first, as suggested by Con William Deep. And let's see how much better we do this time. So we're down to about 700 trillion with this setup. And so obviously, like, I think normally you aren't going to use like 30 keys to try and take out. Oh, this is even worse. I think normally you're not going to try and use 30 keys to try and take out the boss, right? And so good, we actually gem crush, so that's good. So let's go ahead and activate here first, and then we'll be able to cleanse, right? And so I think the thing is, I wanted to be able to stagger, I wanted to be able to save it, but I kind of feel like I can't really, because I want to maximize my damage output. So let's see how much damage we can deal with this here. So let's take a look and see. And I needed to make sure I matched the commander gems. So 12.8. So that's actually better now, right? So we're able to deal 12.8 with that setup, which was, you know, better because we were able to get better power gem output from there. Okay, and so we're gonna go ahead and get this setup once more. We're going to get the additional damage boost, and then we're going to now, after this, what we're going to do is we're going to try this with long shot and see if that is a little bit better. Okay, but all of this is, you know, the thing is, like, with this setup, I have to put in a warden that can dispel toxin, otherwise it just won't work, because I cannot get the attack boost with high performance unit area. It completely gets blocked by toxin. Okay, and so that is an unfortunate thing, and we're going to go ahead and do the activation first. We're gonna get hit, and then we're gonna go ahead and cleanse, and then we'll activate everything, and then we will do one more attack. And so again, like, I think if I play better and play faster, I'll be able to do more damage overall. But so far, it looks like I was able to deal just about 100 trillion with this setup. Okay, and so this is about 100 or so with this. That was using new and improved hero. So would the new and improved hero make the Mouse King redundant? In this particular case, no. The reason for that is because you're going to be getting hit by toxin every single turn. And so what happens is as soon as high performance area gets hit by toxin, it will not activate its skill. And because the debuff gets cast first, you're going to get hit by it, and then high performance unit area will not give its attack boost, and then you'll do your cleanse with either new improved hero or defraggers, and at that point you're not going to be able to use that skill. You're not going to get that attack boost anymore. And so that's why I say that toxin completely shuts down high performance unit area. And so it is also extremely annoying that they chose to, basically, it feels like every dark event there is, you always see toxin. Okay, and it's sort of, you know, they're trying to discourage you from using high performance unit area, which to me, it starts to feel very deliberate, and I don't really enjoy that feeling of, you know, hey, there's that opportunity for me to use a card that I can finally, you know, I've saved up, really good card, want to be able to use it, but no, here is a debuff that completely shuts it down. And so, I mean, I was able to get around it because I have a warden that can dispel it, but it also completely, you know, removes a lot of the damage I was able to do, I would have been able to do. Okay, so there's all of those trade-off that's happening there. Okay, so let's see. Unfortunately, not going to be able to gem crush here. So I think the nice thing about uh, new improved hero, look at that. So because of the health difference, I can't even do this. So new improved hero, what it did was it had the passive ability that actually spawned power gems, and so I was able to do a gem crush afterwards. Okay, and so I was able to create 3 dark power gems whenever I attack, and so that actually helped me get gem crush for my next turn. In this particular setup, I'm lacking commander or slayer arcane cards, and because I'm lacking on the arcane cards, I'm basically getting no gem spawn. Okay, I'm getting basically no gem spawn, and so in this particular situation, I kind of really, if I needed to do better, I needed to bring in a dark. Well, I needed to bring a Slayer command, Slayer Arcane. That's what I needed to do. I need to be able to bring in a Dark Slayer commander, and so this is where I would say, you know, I can't survive most of the hits. This is against Radiance though, and so I would say, this might be okay for Corellium or lower, just not for Radiant. And so I've spent 24 keys so far, and I think if I had kept my original setup, which is I changed it up. If I had used my original setup, which was this, with Freedom Fighters and Custodians of Fate, then at least I was dealing, about 1.5 quadrillion per hit, right? And so that was the best setup I could come up with. But like I said, I have my Freedom Fighters 5 times Awaken, almost max leveled, and it's at 4 pink stars. So it's able to deal a lot more damage than the regular version. So you should expect it to deal, it's 20% for every pink star, so it's going to be 60% less. So about half of what you saw. And so I was able to deal about 60 pre-nuke. So you should see it deal approximately 30 to 25 to 30 trillion pre-nuke, right? And so that is what you should expect to see. And John, so Ivan, fellow guildmate here, welcome to the stream. So let's go back and just try and finish up the boss here with our final 6 keys, and make sure that we have the right setup here. And I do. So let's go ahead and finish this. Nixie Pixie, you've left the game again for quite a while due to frustration within the last 6 months. Would any of you say? Well, I'm gonna let the audience answer that one. It's actually an interesting question. Whether or not you feel like things are getting any better. I guess it depends on what you were frustrated with when you left, and then we can help you answer and see if that aspect of it has gotten any better. So I think, let's see. So I was able to deal about 60 trillion, which gives it about a 300 trillion post nuke. So 55, yeah. So almost 300, and so I think one more hit, and I'll be able to take it out afterwards. So we can at least finish it off. And I also have a guildmate attacking right now, so we should be good to go. Yeah, I'm just gonna go ahead and activate everything now. Let's see if I can do a little bit better. And also, I think it depends on how well of a match you have. Oh, what's my opinion on this events collection? Oh yeah, I can talk about that. Definitely, that was on my mind. So I'll be able to nuke it down. So this is probably going to be my best setup personally for this event. It took me 9 attacks total, but that is mostly because I was just trying out a whole lot of different things, right? So on average, it'll probably take me 3 to 4 attacks for a level 28. And so when it gets to level 300, I will just give up on it. Like, my best team probably will not do enough against a Radiant. Not worth the effort anyway, right? It's going to take me a full 5 to 6 minutes attack to get about 1.5 trillion against Radiant at that point, I might as well just go against Corellium. So, to answer your question, Khan, let's take a look. What is in our collection? What is in our collection for this event? Well, if we take a look, what I see, so we have Dark Potion. Okay, so we've got our evolution coins and we have our evolution gifts. Everything is the same. We get some gems. We have our tokens. And then we basically get Dark Potions 1, Dark Potion 1, Dark Potion 2. Okay, and if you work really, really hard this event, you get to have a single Dark Potion 3. You want to know where I can get a Dark Potion 3? I can get a Dark Potion 3 in Water Trials. Okay, so in your Elemental Trials, you go to the store. I can buy a Dark Potion 3 for 75 tokens, and I have 6.7 thousand. And so for the amount of effort that you're going to put into this event, they've for some reason chosen to give just potions for the collection. I think, this alone is one of the worst decisions that they made in the game, because believe it or not, people care about what's in the collection. And so I guess the moral story here is don't try too hard this event. Just take it easy, play what you can. That's what I'm going to do, right? And so Nixie Pixie, let's see what you said here. So Androgio says that the whole Forever deck stuff starts to feel a little bit relevant now, and I think this is where you can use some of the older decks to help in certain situations. Like you see me here, like I can do okay with an older deck, but it still isn't quite up to par, right? And Nixie Pixie will say, with all of the flaws in Legendary still missed a lot. You might come back sometime and see what you think. You haven't found other games that scratch the itch. So I think that, if I'll just take a few minutes to talk about how I feel about it. And that is, if you left the game for reasons because it's too expensive, it's too random, seems too random to be able to get any good cards, and you just can never do well in events, then I would say that aspect has never changed. So the price has never changed. It's still impossible to really get a good collection every event. But for me, like, I basically have now switched my mindset to say I'm just going to play fire events. Like, I don't care about the rest of the events anymore. I'm just going to build up a really strong fire team, because I'm going to save all my coins and I'm just going to build up the team for fire. Then at least that helps a little bit. The seasonal coins, it's it is what it is. I still think that there's a lot of room for improvement, but the honest thing is it's less grindy now than it used to be, just because I don't play as much anymore. I don't play as much, and so I choose not to grind as much. But I am, what I'm still having fun with is figuring out the different setup like this and helping others with it. So, it nothing much has changed. And if anything is, they have one event where the collection is really, really good, but in this particular case, no, the collection is about as bad as it gets. And so that is something that I'm kind of questioning. So what is worse, the collection or the sale? I actually didn't pay attention. What is the sale that we're talking about? So let's see here. So there's nothing there. Let's take a look at the, the sale. Oh my gosh, yeah. If you're new and you're wondering whether or not you should spend $99 on 2 Dark Wisps, 3 Orbs of XP2, 3,600 mana, and 2 Dark Epic Potion ones, I would say absolutely not. Okay, do not fall into this trap. Don't spend the $40. Don't spend the $100 on this. If you're asking me what's worse, I think the sale is worse, because the fact that they think that this is worth $100, and there are going to be people that will not know better and spend money on it, it makes my head hurt just thinking about it, because this has actual monetary impact to the players. Whereas the collections is like, okay, well, the collections suck this week. Everybody is impacted by it, but my money isn't hurt. This collection, this sale, it's beyond predatory. Okay, and so I generally don't even go into the screen because it is something that it just it blows my mind sometimes when I see like the things that they offer to put to people. It's really like the only thing I can think of is like it's literally like they put in like a computer algorithm and say go ahead and spin up something for sale, like whatever it is, just like put a random bunch of things in there and see what comes up. And this just happens to be what the computer chose, because no one in their right mind should actually spend money on that. Okay, and I'll rephrase that. If you know the game well enough, you'll know not to buy it. And if you don't know the game well enough, I'm telling you right now, do not spend your money on it. It is one of the worst deals ever. Okay. And so how do I feel about this particular event? If I separate out the event from like what you can collect and what you can buy, it's okay, because the event deck really is very strong. If you don't have the event deck, then take it easy. Just kind of play through based on the teams I'm showing you. This is what you can do. And if you're looking to buy stuff, this is not the event. This is not the week to be spending your money. I would definitely hold on to your wallet tight, okay, because they should not be rewarded for giving this as a sale. Like, they have completely lost touch with what is valuable in the game if they're thinking that this is worth $100. All right, so just don't go with that. Separate that aspect of the game from the actual gameplay, and I think you'll feel a little bit better. So that's how I'm going about it, right? I've completely gone free to play. There was a little bit of period where I thought, maybe it was worth getting, the VIP again, just because I could get all of those Leah shards, but I ended up getting a lot of help from people who were willing to help me out and gave me a lot of the Leah shards. So I was able to get my Leah shards. I was able to get Leah up to 6 stars, and I was able to get my my twin dragons up to 3 pink stars, because I collected all of those other items for the last 3.5 years. Managed to get it to 3 stars. I'm really happy about it. So I can't wait to actually show it off in the next fire event, because what I want to do is I want to showcase that so that you could see it in action. That was like the one thing that I was collecting for the longest time, and now now I have it. Okay, so what I'm going to do before I sign off is I'm going to quickly go through this level. Then I'm going to showcase this I'm going to bring the team in. I'm going to bring an ally. So I'm going to bring the ultimate form as an ally, so I can sort of showcase what that looks like before I sign off. And I'm going to talk about like what teams I'll be using with that, and then you can see how much more damage you can deal. And so let's go ahead and finish this off. And this is Ruby, so it's going to be relatively easy still, but what we're paying attention to is the amount of base damage that we're going to be able to do with the ultimate form as an ally, and then we'll take a look at the team setup there. Okay, so let's go ahead and finish this off, and we'll try one more time. But what we want to do is we want to make sure that we go into our guild page. And so instead of going with Slayers, obviously, then we want to now switch over to our Commanders. And so we're going to go and do Dark Commander, and we're going to switch this off. And so what I'm going to bring in is, so we got Defraggers, so it's definitely going to be Citadel. Okay, so Citadel is definitely going to be there. New improved hero is going to be in there. I guess I could keep high performance unit area, and this is where you would have wanted to put in like the ultra rare card or the master collection card. The master collection card for this event would have gone in here, but in this case, I'll just leave my Regal Revolutionary in there for now. So let's go ahead and take a look at this in action, so you can see you can see the ultimate form in action a little bit at least. If you take a look at the skill, I mean, like, this is a really good, this has basically everything, right? If you take a look, what it's got here is it creates a bunch of power gems and it upgrades. Okay, so it upgrades all of your gems. And I guess I don't have the right, yeah, because this was all Slayer relics I was using, so it's okay. We're gonna be able to get some Gem Crush here, and then we will show you. So you can, create gems and then upgrade. So what you want to do is you want to activate that later than your other cards that spawn power gems, right? So you want to spawn as many power gems as you can, and then you want to upgrade later. If you're using Earth Shaking Colossi, you want to activate that last. Okay, so let's go ahead and activate all of these, and now we're gonna go ahead and activate the Seaborn Scalawags. And so you can see we got a nice power gem upgrade. And if you have the Master Collection card, you're going to be able to do more upgrades. Or Master Collection card is the one that does the damage boost. So you're going to get more damage boost. So you're getting 80% damage boost, which is better than a 1 rank upgrade. So you actually get more damage that way. And so you can see, like, the deck itself is really good, really strong. So if you have it, great. Use it also as an ally. You're going to have a lot of fun with it. If not, hopefully the team I showed is helpful in some way. So that's going to be it from me, guys. Thanks a lot for watching. And let me know in the comments below what you thought about some of the teams, and how are you doing with this